For 3 days last week, there was a photo exhibition organized by the Justice and Empowerment Initiative featuring the works of Omorege Osapolo, Jesco Denzel, DEJI Akinpelu, Ben Crislet, and members of the Know Your City youth media team. These artists' works show life of the residents of Otodo Gbame before, during, and since the violent forced evictions of November 2016 to April 2017, alongside the dignity of the evictees and residents of other waterfront communities as they join hands to struggle for survival, for justice, and for people-centered development.
This exhibition is called Displacement and Dignity. That's because we work with so many communities that have been forcibly removed from their lands and their homes, forcibly evicted, including Otodo Gbame community, which is the community that is featured here tonight. And we actually see them as being IDPs, internally displaced persons within Nigeria who should be treated in the same way as other internally displaced persons.
The event commemorates 1 year since the landmark judgment on the 21st of June 2017 in the case brought by the waterfront communities across Lagos to protect their homes, which gave them legal protection against forced eviction without resettlement and declared forced eviction to be a violation of the right to dignity enshrined in Section 34 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It draws attention to the plight of thousands evicted from Otodo Gbame who remain homeless and impoverished up to date despite the court order requiring resettlement.
The people who were forcibly evicted from Otodo Gbame were actually the beneficiaries of a court judgment which ordered the state government to withhold from carrying out the demolitions that were carried out. And after they came and did the demolition in violation of the court order, they actually, the court went ahead to order that they be resettled, and up till now, more than a year after the demolition, they're homeless, they're sleeping in boats, they're squatting with neighbors, and we have places where you have 18 people living in one room.
It was not used. Since after the eviction, it has not been used for my family. I took them to Ibadan. Now I'm squatting with somebody at Ajah.
Since we have left the community, things haven't been going very well. The whole family was separated. My dad lived in a separate community. While I live in a separate community, my mom as well.
Before the demolition, I have a school, but during the demolition, the school was demolished also. Up till now, I have nothing doing.
It will be recalled that the threat to the Lagos waterfronts began when Lagos State Governor Akinwunmi Ambode announced to the media on the 9th of October 2016 the government's intention to start demolishing all shanties on waterfronts across the state within 7 days, citing recent kidnapping incidents as the purported justification.
2016 October, there was a declaration by Lagos State government that all the waterfront communities will be demolished. They said they are havens for kidnappers and all other things. But for me as a youth leader, we know ourselves in Otodo Gbame.
Instead of them demolishing, when they are talking about security threats, the government is the one creating security threats, because people that you drive out of their home, no matter how small their home is, you push them on the road, anything can happen.
Security issue has been the big excuse of the government in this matter. These are people who are well organized, they have association, they have voters card. There's a system that runs there. So what exactly are you saying about security, hoodlums, boom, 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 there are hoodlums there, you wipe them out, then you do what next? You build houses for the rich.
Based on mapping and profiling done by the Nigerian Slum / Informal Settlement Federation, they identified at least 40 communities that fell under this threat and estimated over 300,000 residents were at risk of imminent eviction. Accordingly, more than 20 member communities of the Federation joined together to write Governor Ambode calling for a retraction of the threat and requesting for dialogue to explore alternatives to eviction. 2 peaceful protests brought thousands of waterfront residents to the gates of the governor's office and the State House of Assembly, but to no avail. To the contrary, the Lagos state government proceeded to demolish Ilubiri on the 15th of October 2016. Finally, the threatened waterfronts had no option but to proceed to court to enforce their fundamental rights. On the 7th of November 2016, Honorable Justice Onibanjo granted a temporary injunction restraining the Lagos state government and the Nigerian police force from proceeding with any demolition of the waterfront or eviction of their inhabitants. Despite this order, Otodo Gbame community, an ancestral Egun fishing settlement in Lekki, was demolished and over 30,000 residents were forcibly evicted on the 9th and 10th of November 2016 by arson and a bulldozer working in the dead of the night.
I was there at virtually almost every eviction exercise, and it was quite touching, and I must say also heartbreaking. It's basically a fight of man against man, sadly. So as a photographer, just documenting my environment, coming into this was quite revealing and quite touching, I must say.
On January 26, 2017, Honorable Justice Onibanjo issued an interim ruling holding that these evictions were in violation of the residents' right to dignity and ordered the respondents to enter into mediation with the residents to explore alternatives to eviction. The court-ordered mediation failed. However, when the Lagos state government unilaterally pulled out of the process after starting the eviction of the remaining 5,000 residents of Otodo Gbame on the 17th to 21st of March 2017. On the 9th of April 2017, the Lagos state government led the most violent demolition in recent history that completely displaced all remaining residents of Otodo Gbame. Arriving without notice around 5 a.m., the government's task force chased residents from their beds into boats on the lagoon using live bullets and tear gas, while systematically setting their houses on fire. At least 5 evictees were shot, including 20-year-old Daniel Aya, who died from a gunshot injury to the neck.
They came with people in mufti without uniform, police uniforms. We woke up to check who are those that are around. Is it the hoodlum or the policemen? Before we open the windows to see whoever is around, we could not be able to take any of our property again. We have to jump. If not that we have a boat beside our house, none of us will survive. We have to jump into the boat and leave everything, destruction and everything, and move the boat away to save our life.
We have a case of a woman that had triplets. That woman, she went to the hospital to go and deliver her baby. By the time she came back, her house has already gone. It has been pulled down. And when she came back, she was outside with the 3 children, and she lost the whole 3 children.
Development is when somebody lives in maybe somewhere like Ikorodu and can easily move from Ikorodu down to VI, can walk, can commute at a reasonable cost. Even in the VI, the areas where you have the rich live, you have some level of lower class still living there. Inclusiveness is the answer, not exclusiveness.
For Lagos to really plan for the future and become the best city that it can be, it has to be planning, understanding the realities of migration, understanding the realities of urban poverty that already exist within the city, and adapting and finding ways to bring people in poverty up, find a way to make a city that's inclusive. And our hope is that the city really takes a decision to embrace that approach. None of the poor people who are living in Lagos are just sitting by waiting for handouts. There's no social security system here that would be providing for them in that way. So what they're doing is they're contributing to the economy. What we need to do is find ways to harness that power and use it to improve the city and improve the lives of the people who are living here.